The Liberals' race for a new leader is now underway, and the Prime Minister is off to China soon. Here to look at both of these stories is political analyst Raphael Melancon. Happy New Year, Raphael.
Happy New Year, Caroline.
Nice to see you. So let's talk about the Liberals first. Charles Milliard is starting off the new year saying he's in. He's doing the media rounds already, not wasting any time. And Liberal André Pratt wrote today in the Gazette that there's no need to have a leadership race when time is short, and Milliard has already shown he's the right man for the job. Do you agree, though? Is a coronation a good idea now, or should they at least look at one other candidate?
Absolutely. I think they don't have the luxury of time at the moment, Caroline, because they need to have a functional leader as soon as possible. You know, the clock is ticking for the Liberals because the general elections in Quebec could happen. Yes, they're planned for October to the latest, but they could happen as soon as this spring if ever François Legault chooses to launch a snap election and try and surprise his opponents. That could happen as soon as in the next few months. So the Liberals need to have a functional leader to recruit star candidates, to hold fundraising events, and make sure that his party is ready for the battle against the CQ and the PQ and Quebec Solidaire, of course. So I would agree that having a leadership race right now, it would be useless, especially if you consider that the only opponent so far that we know would be facing Milliard is Mario Roy. So the guy who came very last during the last leadership race just 7 months ago with less than 1% of a total score on the first ballot. So it wouldn't really be a race in the end, and it would just postpone the confirmation of Milliard as the new leader of the Liberals by a month. So I would say right now, this is a party that needs to show unity after everything they went through in the past few months, and having a coronation with Milliard, who came close second following Rodriguez, just 7 months ago. He's the clear second choice of the party members that expressed their preference just 7 months ago. So to me, having a coronation would be justified in this case.
Okay. Let's talk about Mark Carney, who is off to China next week to talk trade and security. It's the first visit by a Canadian Prime Minister in more than 8 years to China. What do you think are the implications of this visit, Raphael, at a time when the U.S. is looking to expand its dominance over the Western Hemisphere, annex Greenland? Can Carney straddle this fine line between building partnerships with China at the same time as it's building a new U.S. trade deal?
That's not going to be an easy task for Mark Carney because, as you mentioned, he's walking a very fine line here. He's probably walking on eggshells at the moment because you don't want to generate any frustration on the U.S. side with the Trump administration. But at the same time, this visit, I think, speaks volumes about the situation, the current situation of our relationship with the United States. When you have a country like Canada that needs to seek new partnerships with a country like China, and especially it's not just about the economy, it's also about the talking points that were unveiled by the Prime Minister's office also include international security. So when we know that what's happening with Greenland at the moment on the US side, it raises some major concerns here on this side of the border, and we're looking for new partnerships. And of course, China is a major player on the international stage. And so to try and build bridges after a decade of tense relations with China, as we know, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, the predecessor of Mark Carney, did not have good relations with China. So trying to build bridges with China is a step I would say that we need to undertake, but it's a risky one because, of course, the U.S. won't certainly like it.
Yeah, we'll have to see what Donald Trump has to say about this and what comes out of it. Thanks so much for your time today, Raphael. Good to see you.
Always a pleasure, Caroline. See you next time.